How I lost 66 pounds in the span of a year. Basically, I'm going to share with you everything that I did and exactly everything that I did. And um, I've maintained the weight off now for it's almost been a year. So I was originally around 260 pounds. I was competing, well, not really competing, amateur in strongman and training as a strongman, and so you had to be a little bit bigger in size. But when I started doing GoRuck, I needed to strip the excess body mass, specifically fat, down, so that I could be more efficient and basically do some of the things that I needed to do for those specific tasks that are involved at GoRuck events. So anyway, what I did is I used a fitness tracker, MyFitnessPal specifically, and I figured out a caloric deficit, which for me at the time was 2,400 calories. And basically for about a year I stayed at 2,400 calories, fluctuating here and there actually. So I tracked all my food, and basically I ate real food, no processed foods. I mean, well, obviously things are processed, but tried to eat organic. Tried to eat all natural as much as possible. You know, you can do whatever you want. I'm not an expert, but this is what I did specifically to lose the weight. And then I would intermittent fast for the most part. Some days I would just change instinctively. Like some days I'd eat twice a day, but most of the time I intermittent fast about 20 hours each day, and then that worked for me because of my work schedule and what I did. So if it doesn't work for you, don't do it. But then I would eat between a 4-hour window, usually one massive meal, and then I did this for a while. I'd stay strict, basically for 6 days out of the week, and then I would have one day where I just ate what I wanted. Still good food, still healthy food, but I didn't count the calories. And actually, I think this helped me lose weight faster. So my body didn't go into kind of a deficit starvation mode. And then I'll share with you another important thing is you need to track your macros. So macros are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Basically, I would do 30% protein. 30% of my caloric intake was protein, 50% was carbohydrates, and 20% fat. Geez, remedial math, right? so 20% fat, but that would change from day to day. And the reason why I had those macros, some people out there are going to say, well, that wouldn't work for me. Well, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't work for you because of what I do. I do so much rucksack marching, and I burn so many calories, and the way that I train is so long that I actually need that carbohydrate source. If I wasn't getting it, I would actually lose muscle tissue and muscle mass. And fat's another thing that's really important. So you may want to do whatever you want to do, keto, what have you, low carbohydrate. The reason being I ate the way I did was specifically for the type of training and events that I do. Now, if you don't exercise a lot, or if you do a different form of training, you may not be successful losing weight on the same macros that I have. But there again, I want to reiterate, this is exactly what I did to lose 66 pounds. And once again, I also want to reiterate that it took me a year. So, I mean, I did this over the course of a year very slowly. Okay, so I tracked my calories, I tracked my macros, I was in a caloric deficit, which was 2,400 calories. And then eventually later towards the end, when I started really losing weight, I had to up it. So now I take in about anywhere from 2,800 calories to about 4,000. It just depends on the day. It depends on what I'm doing. And I also kind of weigh myself. But I fluctuate on any given day about 5 pounds, 2 to 5 pounds of water weight. It just depends on what activities I've done, how inflamed I am, and so on. So my body weight stays, and it has stayed for about a year, between 187 pounds to 192, 193 pounds. And it fluctuates on any given day. There again, how much water I take in, how much sodium, how much inflammation I have, and so on. So I'll try and keep this video as short as possible. So from there, you know, so just to kind of recap, track your calories, set your percentages of macros. Protein, in my opinion, is the most important. So if you're going to track anything and you don't care about carbs or fat, just make sure you're getting enough protein in, and you're going to have to figure that out. The apps will do that. And then I have a cheat day. The other thing is I really started losing weight as soon as I stopped drinking alcohol. Now I do occasionally, I have a beer, you know, or whatever. You know, but there was an extended period of time where I really stopped drinking for a long period of time, and I started losing weight fast when I stopped doing that. And so alcohol is, and you're going to make better choices. When you go into a negative caloric deficit, you're going to make better choices about your foods. Now, the types of foods that I eat, there again, it works for me. I eat organic pizza. I eat a lot of steak. I eat, you know, organic rice, you know, organic bread, you know, and so my diet is not low carb, but there again, it doesn't work for everybody, but there again, this is what I did to lose weight. And the bottom line is, when you track your calories, you're going to be more prone to make wiser decisions and monitor exactly what goes into your mouth. And that's when you really start losing weight, because I will tell you this, you cannot out-exercise what you eat. If you just go ahead and eat whatever you want, when you want, and you think you're exercising enough, you're still going to stay fat. So anyway, no offense. But so that's it. That's what worked for me. It's basically just staying disciplined enough, you know, to do it, and then allow yourself, because this is a bigger picture deal. Allow yourself a day where you can kind of relax and enjoy yourself. Go out with your friends, your family, eat some good food. The other thing is too, I basically intermittent fast, but you know, whatever. I do whatever I want, but I tend not to eat more than twice a day, ever. And if I do eat earlier in the day, it's very little. It's very little. So I hope this video is helpful to you. It's really simple, common sense information, but ultimately you're going to have to, your body becomes its function, and so how you train will determine your macros and of your percentages, basically, of your macros, and how you're going to eat. So and there again, I do a lot of endurance stuff and strength endurance, so hopefully this was helpful. But that's how I lost 66 pounds, and I've kept it off, you know, for over a year. So, and I'm still continuing to train and get leaner and so on. So that's it.